All right, we are live. We're late. That's my fault. Had a lot of things, man. Been doing so much. Uh, this is J Knock back again with Poe. Poe, how you doing,
How's
man?
it going, everybody? How's it going?
Speak up a little bit more.
How's it going, everybody?
There we go. There we go. Uh, man. Um, Before we get into it, there's a lot of stuff we want to get into. Anything you've been up to? Anything you've been?
No, nothing major in my life been going on. You know. Oh yeah, my father's birthday was yesterday. It was hard for me to do a lot of things.
Oh man, belated to him, man.
Yeah. 82.
Wow, wow, man, that's a blessings. That's blessings.
Yeah,
That's a long life and a lot of things being seen.
yeah.
Lot of different time changes, man. You know what I'm saying?
Uh,
When was he born? See, he's 82.
um, the
Hold up, real quick. I got it. 37. See, my dad was born in 44. But
oh,
he passed when he was 10 days away from his 65th birthday. It was rough, man. But he he's seen a lot of things too, man. He's seen a lot of things in his short life. I mean, 60's not that it's not that old. I mean, it's not that old, man. Realistically. Um, but getting right into it. Welcome everybody. Before we get into everything, um, just remember like, share, subscribe. Um, Links for all of our social medias are in the description. We do the shows every Sundays. We do a recap on Sundays, and then we also do it on Wednesdays, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, but big night, disappointing night, and some changing of the crown, so to speak, on a different fight plateau instead of boxing. But you sent me something. I want to get in that one second because I want to talk about um, the women's boxing. Did,
what is the Clarissa Shields
yes,
situation?
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
Uh,
that was like a bad stain on boxing.
all right, man. I got my feelings about it. Did you watch everything that transpired?
Yeah,
All right. What is your take on it? Go ahead. I'm gonna let you speak on that.
my my take is on is family shouldn't be up on stage, period. And Bashir, I know Bashir personally, going for well, 4 or 5 decades. No, not that. About 3 decades. But I knew Bashir for a long time. And she was on the stage all hyped up, getting him hyper than he was. He was telling him to back up and everything. And she started like really getting amped up. And what's called Clarissa Shields was trying to calm her down, tell her to get off the stage. Because
You're talking
Bashir
about
was
the
like,
sister.
yes,
Okay, okay,
yes.
okay.
And by she was telling the sister, because the sister was being very disrespectful, so he got disrespectful back to her. He was like, if you was a man, I would knock you out. And she was like, she kept going back and forth. And he's like, you acting like a man, but you're not a man. So that media eating that up because the way society is built now. But then her brother came back and sucker punched him. Nobody should ever sucker punch a
Was that
70-year-old man.
hold on, was that the brother or was it because
What the news is saying, it was Clarissa Shields' brother came back and sucker punched. I thought it was the sister that did it.
Okay, see, I didn't see nothing. I didn't see nothing about the brother or anything because she was saying in her live the only male that's in her entourage is her boyfriend. That's what she said
See,
on her live.
and that's probably who did it. See, you know how the
But
news they
but
don't get the
but
full picture of everything.
but she said that her uh her boyfriend like kind of put his hand on his chest like when they were on the stage. This happened what transpired on the stage. He put his hand like on his chest and was like, "Man, chill. Like come on, let's." And that was him the boyfriend um and someone else. I think it was a manager or something. It was something like a promoter or manager of Clarissa Shields. Both of them, the boyfriend and manager or promoter or something of Clarissa Shields was like trying to calm him down. Uh and I'm torn on it personally because you're right. Family and stuff shouldn't be on the stage. Agreed. But he did kind of he pressed it more.
Yeah, but it's words. I always tell people it's words.
Yeah, but
When they get physical, that he didn't touch nobody physically. He didn't put his hands on nobody.
yeah, but
That's boxing.
when okay, but I mean, look at the stuff that happened in other incidents like the Mike Tyson with Lennox Lewis and damn, who else did he fight? He fought somebody. Green. Was it Maurice Green? I think his name was
Mitch Green.
Mitch Green. Mitch Green. My bad. Um, when he he fought him, you know, and that started with words,
Yeah, but that was the actual boxers.
and then and
He's a 70-year-old manager,
uh,
trainer on there.
I know that but listen to what I'm getting at here. And then there was who was the was it who was it Spinks that jumped out did the drop kick off the car? Who was
No,
that?
that was Trevor Burbick.
Okay.
He
Um
did that to Larry Holmes.
yeah. Uh so you have these incidents. Yes, they're boxers, right? And then you had the
Yeah.
Darrell's uncle did that stupid thing where he assaulted
Oh yeah.
the boxer. I think it was like a late hit or a low blow or something like that. Um,
Yes.
and I think the uncle was part of the training or he was somewhere in the corner. I don't think he was like a full cornerman or something. Okay, that happened. There's other instances that I can't recall off the top of my head right now. But what I'm getting
Yeah.
at is why did he go as far as he did? Yes, they're words, but here's the thing. That's regardless of her sexual identity, regardless of that, regardless of how she identifies herself, she's still a woman at the end of the day. She's still a female. And for for him to talk to a female that way, calling her all kinds of it could be racial slurs at that point. Even
Yeah.
regardless of his ethnic background, it can still be construed as racial slurs. Um, and they, especially if you call anybody in the black community what he called her, I'm not going to repeat it on here, but what he called her, that's fighting words. Wouldn't you agree? Sucker punch or
I don't
not.
know.
But if somebody
In the
called you
hood where I'm from, they don't really pay too much mind to that because they know what they are. You know, like when the gay community or whatever,
no, 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 no.
they don't
I'm
be
not talking
extreme
about that.
about it.
I'm not talking about that. Did you actually hear what he was saying?
I heard some of it, and then I said, "Man, this is
All right. Well, I
crazy."
wasn't gonna say it, but when he sat there and said, he called her a monkey something something.
Oh yeah,
So if somebody's saying that to you, or just like in your
we don't look
experience,
at it the same way. If a black person, they say with your monkey dog, but we don't look at it as a racial thing. When a black person said to a black person, we don't look at it like as that. Certain things. It doesn't carry the same thing as.
it still kind of does though. It still kind of does because there's different. Like I mean, if it was coming from somebody that she is around, you might get riled up or whatever, but they're not in the same, like they don't know where he grew up at, and they don't know what his upbringing is and all that other stuff. But that's
Yeah.
besides the point. But when you're calling somebody that and you're talking to a female, and then here's another problem I had. He goes and sits down and he continues. He continues on this tirade.
Yeah, I saw that part.
And how did he get from where he was at sitting down to another area? That means he went after them again to go
I
confront
heard
him
he was
more.
on the scale because what's coming out to get back on the scale because she was overweight. Remember,
Nah,
she
nah.
also
He
was
he
watching the
he was
scale.
walk. He walked from his. He went from his seat towards like the doors, like the exit almost.
Mm.
Because where the video picked back up, where he was laying down bleeding, uh, the exit was right there, and that's when you seen a guy run out.
Oh, I ain't see all that. Duh. I
Yeah,
seen him laying down, but I ain't seen nobody the part when somebody ran out
I'll
and
send
stuff.
I'll send you the what do you call it. And then here's another thing. There was three security that they had, and I'm talking about Bashir and what's her name? What's the boxer's name? Hi,
Clarissa Shield.
no, no, not Shields,
No,
but
or Havana.
Hi Ivana, Hi Izana, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
They had three security guards for them. That was their security guards. Where were they at?
Yeah, that's what I
They
was
were the
wondering
ones.
too. Like,
I'll send you the what do you call it? But they had like this tactical gear on, berets, um, and that was their security. But I'm in the field. Okay, sucker punches are not cool at all. Yes, people can get hurt. People can get killed. I think it's a weak move. I honestly think that. But when you're talking the way he was talking, things are going to be expected. Things could happen. Is what I'm trying to say. Things could
yeah.
happen, and they can escalate to that point, to
And I
where
know why he
to where
got
thing.
he got riled up too because see in Newark is like right by New York, and the I'm not trying to be like you know like the they call them the studs, the masculine
Mhm. Mhm.
females.
Mhm.
They're very aggressive.
Right.
They
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 are.
they will knock your head off. I don't have because I'm a big stature guy. Even when I was boxing and everything, that's where I got most of my problems from. But I knew to ignore them. But I said, if you hit me, I'm knocking you out, straight up,
Right. But
female or not, I'm knocking you out.
it's still wrong.
Yeah, it's wrong, but I refuse to let anybody kick my butt, male or female. And if you're a child big enough, you ain't knocking me out or beat me up.
But at that point, if they're mouthing off, like to me, the way I was up, upbringing was like just get away from the situation.
That ain't how it goes in North. The women, they
I,
aggress.
I,
I'm telling
yo,
you.
I've seen it. I've been around it, but I'm still gonna get away from the situation, no matter what it takes. Like even if I'm shutting my mouth and getting out of there. Yeah, people. Oh, you
Yeah,
look like it. You and they might try to follow and oh, you look like a bee. You look like this. Okay, whatever. I'm
yeah,
just I'm not even I'm getting out there. You know what I'm saying? Like a male, regardless of what they do, yeah, a female shouldn't put their hands on a male, and vice versa. But a male should almost like I'm talking about never do it because they're physically stronger regardless of their size. A male is going to be always physically stronger and they can do a lot more damage than that female can. Not saying females can't do damage, but
Oh, I've seen a couple
I,
males get
I
knocked out by females. I
I've
know
seen it too. I've seen it
quite a
too.
few.
I've seen it, but
Snoring. Jokers be on the ground snoring.
yeah, I've seen it. But like, remove yourself away from that situation. I think I don't think any of it's right. I don't think the family should have been there, like on the stage like that. What do you call it? Shouldn't have been saying the things that he was saying, putting his hand like he's the one that made the advances. He was yeah, she was talking, she was mouthy, but he continued that aggression.
Yeah.
And
Some people, once you start them, it's like you can't turn it off. That's a lot of people are. Once you start them, it's like it's in them. Like you get them amped up. I've been through it myself because I'm not really into being aggressive. Even though I was a boxer and everything, I'm not aggressive unless you get. It's like you push me to that level that now I gotta keep going and let it out because you don't push because I was quiet the whole time. Then you kept pushing, 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 being real mouthy, and boom, there you go. You just snap.
yeah, see, I never allowed myself to get that far. I've been in a lot of situations, but I never, especially when it came to females, I never let myself get to that point because I always removed myself from that situation because I know how things can get, and even if you didn't put your hands on the female or do anything, I heard a lot of cases where cops are called, they did damage to themselves, cops get called, and your whole life is ruined at that point. Where the female damages herself and she tries to put the blame on you. Like I'm not with that. But people are trying to put the blame on Clarissa Shields. What do you feel about that though? Oh, did I lose him? Yo, Poe, you there? I can't hear you if you're talking, man. He's still in the call.
You get me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. People are trying to put the blame on Clarissa. What do you feel about that?
I think that's totally wrong because she has nothing to do with what somebody else does. She's not responsible for them.
Right, right.
Especially when it comes to words and stuff like that. She's not responsible. That's why she's telling her sister to calm down and got I don't know who was that escorted her away from over there while she was weighing getting weighed.
Hmm.
But
And that
but
wasn't
I
even
noticed
that
it's a
wasn't even
lot of
the.
fans don't like.
Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
hear me? it's a lot of fans that don't like Clarissa Shields
Yes,
because she's aggressive.
yes.
She has a
Well,
grip, but she kept, under control. I thought she would have been amped up from that situation, but she wasn't.
nah, she was completely professional,
Yeah,
completely professional. And see, what was happening was is they were testing. They weren't even doing the official ways. She was just doing a check-in, unofficial check-in, and that's when Bashir uh, was trying to get up, looking at the scales. Like
yeah,
that wasn't the official. Like yes, they were in the weigh-ins, the official weigh-ins, but they weren't doing the official weigh-ins. She was Clarissa was in the bathroom, and they said, "Hey, let's go. Let's see what the scales are saying. Just do a quick check, so we know where you're at." And that's what they were doing. Like they weren't even doing like commission everything. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
She had to drop some weight or
yeah, right,
anything
right.
real quick.
And which you should have bought a scale. That's what I'm thinking. Like you should have bought a scale,
Yeah,
and
because
that
that's
would have
what I'm.
killed everything.
Yeah, I'm shocked they didn't, because that's one of the things that
That's
you
like a natural
always get when
thing.
you have a fight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like you always have a scale with you. Like your trainer will have a scale. Somebody's gonna have a scale. Like here, hey, yo, let's check your weight. Um, and that's when like they went out, was checking the weight. I'll send you that video. The video where she was talking, where she did a IG live or a live video somewhere.
yeah.
Uh,
Fight hype had it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
watching some of
And
it.
then there was another video where um, you see there's an edit though. There's an edit. You see him mouthing off, and Bashir's putting his hand in and is like reaching across and kind of moving forward, putting his hand in the sister's face, and then I think it cuts to him sitting down, and then somebody going up to him. I think it was Clarissa Shields' boyfriend saying like man, like calm down. And then the camera goes away, and then the camera comes back, and um, Bashir's mouthing off again at her, and she's walking away. And then there was another edit, and the next clip was him laying on the ground, bleeding, and there's some security people. They put a bag under his head. Then you see in the distance, just past the people crowding around him, you see two guys, and then one guy was like telling the other guy like get out. He was like motioning him, like he was pushing him off, and then you see him run out the door. Um, I don't know who that guy was. It was not Clarissa's boyfriend though. It was a completely different guy. I don't know. I didn't see that guy anywhere in that video at all. But I don't think she's to blame. Uh, I think that the promoters on both sides, because there's another thing I heard of. I watched a video. Somebody was like putting everything on Clarissa Shields. It's like I don't know. It's like that favoritism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like this gives them like they already didn't like Clarissa Shields, but this gives them more not to like her.
yeah, it really does.
And it's just like it's kind of nonsensical because either I don't know why they don't like her.
Cause she speak up for certain things, and
Eh,
she's basically trying to promote herself like Ali used to do. She
yeah,
like try to build up.
but she's
Hate
doing
me
it.
or love me, I'ma still make money.
Yeah, she's doing it by herself, which I commend her with. I don't feel either way towards Clarissa Shields. I think she's a decent boxer. I think there's a lot of holes in her game. Uh,
Yeah,
I I I I think she's probably one of the better female boxers right now. Of a lot of them, not saying of all of them, but of a lot of them, she's probably one of the best. But it's like I don't dislike her. I don't like super like her, but I think she's decent. Like I enjoy her fights. You know what I'm saying? And she's cool. Like I'm like, all right, cool, yeah. She's doing her thing. Um, I just don't understand the this out and outright hate of it. It's like it drives me. It's like it makes me crazy, man.
yeah, it makes no sense.
It makes no sense. But this gives them like they already didn't like her. Now all these people are doing videos of saying, "Oh, she's a thug. She's this. She's that." And then now they're trying to put her a gang title on her and all this other stuff. I'm like, and that's why she has her hair blue. I'm just like, come on, man. And it's speculation and it's feelings,
Yeah,
and those are two things you don't want to interject in factual situations. Like let's talk about straight facts, man. Let's talk about what's going on. Let's not talk about your feelings. Now you can have an opinion about a situation. There's nothing wrong with that. But when you already made that predetermined hate towards her and now you're feeling a certain way and then you're putting other speculations on it like, oh, you need to stop. They need to stop with that, man.
yeah, I agree.
It, sadly, we missed out on a fight. I hope it does happen. Um, I hope it comes back around, and we get to see what happened, what unfolds with them, and um, promoters on both sides need to control the situation this next time, if there is a next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Uh, other fights, man. I before we get to the Triple G thing, is there any other? I know there was some other fights. I didn't really care for the names. I didn't really they didn't really stick in my head too much.
No, I know it was fight song, but I didn't like really pay too much, not that much mind to what was going on. I just know they were for
There was
Axie Theopen for us, Kasim Omar. Um, they both like basically passed their prime,
yeah.
and I went to decision. And who else? Jared Enos, what's his name? He was on the card. He won by um, TKO. He's like one of them fighters that you gotta look out for.
Mm,
Jerron or Jared Enos.
yeah, I'll have to look him up. I'm not too familiar with them.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have there was one fight I wanted to talk about. Completely forgot. But then we have the Triple G and ooh, what was his name?
Demetrico.
Devinchenko. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Sergey Demetrico.
yo, what do you think?
What? No, I want you to say
All
it first.
right, so you sent me that video.
Yeah.
Um, and for everybody that's listening, everybody that's watching, everybody that's watching in the future, that video was of Triple G getting some body shots. He kind of buckled on it, came around, and the ref almost
Mm-hmm.
almost hugged Triple G from behind,
Yep.
and then kind of almost kept him up almost, and then he stepped in between the two fighters and split them up and let them reset. Uh, and the caption on the video, I'll pull it up real quick. Let me pull it up here real quick. caption on it was, "I don't do conspiracy theories. However, if I were, I would say I would be safe to assume that the refs and the judges in this fight were given marching orders to ensure we got a Canelo Triple G3 in ways of Dancing USA." Um, who I can't remember who. I know who the ref is. I've seen him before, but I can't remember
Oh
the
yeah,
name.
that's one of my friends from the amateurs. His name Harvey Duck. His
Okay,
father used to box.
okay, yeah. I've seen, he's been around. I've seen him ref a lot of other fights. Uh,
Yeah,
well, before we get onto that, I think Sergey Devinchenko, I think he beat Triple G, man.
man, yeah, I
I, I
definitely
honestly
do.
I honestly think he beat
That
him.
knockdown was not a knockdown.
Right.
Did
Okay.
you see that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, and if you give that, all right, you give that. But Triple G maybe got, maybe four rounds within the fight.
Yeah, I give him that.
Um, and Demchenko, man, if I'm saying his name right, I hope I am, Sergey, whatever his name is, but dude, he was whooping the heck out of Triple G. Triple G looked
Yeah,
at guard like he didn't.
old overnight.
Yeah. Well, I mean the fight before he was looking old, and I think the fight before that, like he's starting to show that age. He's not the dominant person that he used to be. He's not taking people out there, and what he called was fast, powerful, putting in combinations, putting in work. Like he was doing his job. I honestly, no joke, I had him winning the fight.
Yeah, it's like it's like when you get that wear and tear from having hard fights like he did with
Mhm.
Canelo, that
Mhm.
wears on you.
And the hard fight with Danny Jacobs too,
Yeah, yeah,
cause Venchenko also fought Danny Jacobs, and you know Danny Jacobs only has losses to big guys, to guys that and you can you can argue that those fights could have went Danny Jacobs' way.
yeah. Can
Um, but I don't think there should be another Canelo Triple G fight.
they asking for a rematch with this fight?
Dude, that's stupid. He looked horrible.
He might get knocked out if we fight him again.
Okay, and this is what I wanted to say. Fights, when you fight somebody in a high caliber, most times, I'm not going to say all the time, but most times it pushes you to do better things. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah,
Like
definitely.
better people push you to those limits. You know what I'm saying? Um, but this fight that Triple G had, it's like Vanchenko, he was no bum.
And that's what a lot of people was like looking at like this was gonna be a skateboard fight, like he gonna go right through him. And nah,
No, like he's what do you call it? It's no bum. Like he is a great fighter,
yeah, a great amateur career and everything.
great amateur career, great technique, great technique. The only thing, the only thing that uh kind of put a little worry on the fight was his eye.
Yeah,
That's the only thing that
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 was
that
a headbutt, right?
that was a headbutt, and also I think um I have to find that clip, but I think what he call used his laces too after like he headbutted him, and then I think he threw a punch, and the punch went past him, and I think he kind of laced him, even though the laces
Uh,
weren't. I mean, his what he calls weren't showing, but still that can that area of the glove, you know it, even when it's
yeah,
taped. even when that's taped, it's still a dangerous spot.
Yeah.
So I've watched these things now ever since the Fury fight. I watch these things now, and I see these things. I'm like, yo, that's lacing, man.
Oh, speaking of Fury, we got to talk about that.
Oh yeah, but to that video. Speaking on that video, uh, do I think that happens in boxing? Not to be all tinfoil hat and conspiracy theories. Yes, yes I do. I honestly do think that happens.
Yeah,
And
because they feel it's a lot of money
hmm
for this fight to happen.
and if
So
and
they,
if and it would be Danson's incentive to do so because they want to get that money, especially they want to
yeah,
get that money back too, because they threw out a lot of
yeah,
money.
exactly.
Threw out a
Yeah,
lot of
they
money.
give
They want to get that
Canelo
money
a
back.
lot of money.
Um, so does it happen? Yes, I think it happens, and I might sound more conspiracy theorist or whatever, but I think it happened a lot with Golden Boy Promotions. I'm not saying that's the only one, but I feel it's happened a lot with Golden Boy. Um, and it's happened with other fights. I'm sure. Like people can
Oh,
argue.
Bob Aaron too.
Oh
Spitting
yeah,
fights, Bob Aaron.
oh yeah. People can argue also about the Tyson Fury and
Yeah,
Wilder fight. People say that Tyson Fury beat Wilder. Um, I would have to go back and watch it. I like I like I like I like Wilder. I like Fury. Fury's cool too, but with those with those knockdowns, you know what I'm saying? Like I just don't. I think it could have went either way on the Wilder fight.
yeah.
Wilder
I
and
think the
Fury.
draw was a good call.
I think that was a good call. Some people say that Fury won. But do I feel it happens where they get those orders and try to make it look a certain way and stuff? Yeah, I think it happens. Uh, I think it happens in almost every sport, not just boxing, because every sport
Yeah,
makes money. You know what I'm saying? Especially there's a, even though we have our certain certain like negative outlooks on things, but it's that betting world, man. Anything that has to do with betting, I think there's also
yeah,
room for corruption. I think that's fair to say. Um, what do you think?
yeah. I agree. It's too much money, and they gotta make that money back. Especially Canelo, what they getting 400 million?
Mm-hmm.
They gotta get that money back, you know, quickly.
Yep.
Cause they start signing too many boxers, too big contracts, so they gotta get it.
Yeah, that's why you're seeing uh the KSI Logan Paul fights too, because there's not there's only a few big names in boxing. I'm not saying that there's not enough, but
But I
it's so
think it's the
fractured.
whole marketing thing. KSI and Logan Paul, they self marketers. They market themselves, and I wonder why promoters are not promoting like they used to.
I
They
don't know,
letting the
man.
fighters do it. You don't need a promoter nowadays
No, you don't.
because social media does it for you.
Yep. Yep. Uh, what do you call it's going to be on that card? Devin Haney.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. He's going to
Wow.
be. He's because of course Logan Paul and KSI is the main event, but what do you call it's fighting before them? Devin Haney. I don't know who he's fighting, but he's fighting somebody there on that fight. I don't know if it's going to be a full like I don't know if it's going to be exhibition or what, but he's going to be
Not no
fighting.
headgear, so that's a
No, no, no.
good real fight.
I'm talking about Devin Haney.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's going to be a full-fledged like professional bout, like ranked and everything, where it's going to go on his record and all that. But I just don't know who he's going to fight.
that's crazy for him to be an actual boxer with history behind him boxing,
I think
and
it's
he's a
smart though.
co-feature.
I think it's smart though. I commend it to him. I commend that. I tip my hat off to that because you think about what he called did 1.4, 1.2, 1.6 somewhere around there. The last fight,
Yeah,
it's going to do it again. And then all those Logan Paul, KSI fans, and all the other YouTuber fans, they're going to see these that this Devin Haney. And I don't know if he's the only boxer there, but they're going to see Devin Haney and they're going to know who he is. And they're going to look him up. And he's smart about social media, so I think it's marketable for him.
yeah.
Uh,
You gotta look at the big picture.
yeah. And you wanted to talk about the Gypsy King.
Yeah, they
I know what you and I think I know what you're talking about, but go ahead.
yeah. It's like he's setting up for a second career, and, and,
What
and this
for everybody that doesn't know, what is that?
wrestling.
Yeah. He was on SmackDown or one of them. I don't watch wrestling. I haven't watched wrestling
Me neither. I stopped.
since I was a kid, man. Like when I
Yeah,
was
I'm.
like 13,
Yeah,
something like that.
it's crazy that I didn't watch. I haven't watched wrestling for years, but I would buy wrestling video game.
I haven't played a wrestling what do you call it in years, man. Years. But I've always enjoyed them. I've always enjoyed like the customization about them.
Yeah,
I've
that
always
was what
enjoyed
I
that.
like.
Like they've been real deep. Like if you wanted to do that whole sim thing and everything, build your own pay-per-views and all that, that wrestling games are for that, man. Um,
Yeah,
a lot of fighters are doing that, man. You seen what he call it doing his little promotional thing on wrestling. Tyson Fury, and then you have the UFC guy Cain Velasquez, who fought Brock Lesnar in the UFC, who actually beat Brock Lesnar on a
yeah,
TKO, first round TKO. He actually, I seen a video where him, I don't know how old it was or what, but he did a he did his little cameo and stuff, and he got in a little tussle with Brock Lesnar on the WWE side. Um, I get that. You got a short career, especially in fighting. You got a short career, anything can happen. I say that's probably like the best thing that you can do. Ali did it,
yeah. But I think
but
Tyson Fury.
Ali did it
Oh
because
yeah,
he was banned. That's why I think he did
yeah.
it. That's when I think he did it.
Because he was trying to. Dad, I can't remember, but he did that. He did the karate, and he did something else, the
Mhm.
wrestling
Mhm.
and the wrestling.
Yeah, he
But
fought. He did the wrestling. He did the an MMA match, but he was strictly boxing.
yeah,
Yeah, but go ahead.
yeah. I think Tyson Fury is setting himself up for wrestling because I think Tyson Fury has a little doubt in himself. I really do. We gonna see when he has this um press conference with Deontay Wilder if Deontay Wilder get past Luis Ortiz. See,
I
everybody keeps saying he is, but it's heavyweight boxing.
Yeah, I think he's gonna I was watching some stuff on Wilder. Um he has I think from the feeling I got from it, it could be all this the show, but from the feeling I got from it, I think he's got a little bit of bad blood with Ortiz. Like he's like he wants to get him out of there. And I think he said
Yeah,
that he wants to get
he
him
said
out
he got to
quick.
look good. He got to look good in this. He got to build up that feeling that he got to do it fast because that makes it even better if him and Tyson Fury fights. And that fight's still up in the air because we don't know if Fury gonna be right with that eye. Is he gonna be held up enough for him to fight, or if Fury just gonna do a okey doke and say, "Nah, I don't want to fight him. I'll fight somebody else right now."
Uh,
And if he do that, boy,
who
it'll
has
be
Fury been
crazy.
fighting though? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Nobody's,
yeah.
nobody's.
I mean,
And
truth be told,
he almost got hurt that last fight. I mean, like really hurt.
some I think they were saying like, yo, he could have lost that fight.
Yeah,
like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think I don't think I give it to him that he lost the weight and he did the little comeback and stuff, but he like I'm kind of leaning towards how you were saying, and I'm kind of almost agreeing with you. Like,
he's not really into it.
yeah, there's something there.
I don't know if it was from that knockdown. And he said, "Dad, maybe next time it could be worse." I don't know, cause I know when people get dropped, that takes something. Like if you ain't even got to get knocked out, you get dropped. You be like, "Dad, he dropped me, so that means he can knock me out."
Yeah, yeah, that does sit in your head. Like real talk, that does sit in your head. I mean that I haven't fought in any professional fights. Um, I've done some sparring, and I've got tagged in sparring where I had that little buzz,
Mm-hmm.
and it didn't it did the opposite for me. Like he tagged me, he buzzed me, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna get this dude back. Like I was it gave me that fire to even to like I need to get him back because that's the type of person I am. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm that type of fighter when it comes to fighting. Like if you catch me, I need to catch you back. I need to give you two more.
Yeah.
Um, but to speak on that doubt, I played semi-pro football. I was a running back. Uh, and my first season, I played for the CVFL, and um, in California. And my first season, uh, four four or five games in, uh, I got hurt. I got hurt, but with a late hit. Somebody, it was on a we. It was a 4 and out. We were kick. We punted the ball off, and I'm running downfield to make the tackle. The receiver catches it, and he goes and runs. Some guys beat me to him, and they tackled him. And whistle blows, plays dead, and I put my foot, my it was my left foot, the tip of my foot in the ground to turn around to go to the sidelines. I turn around and I get hit. Bam! Rolled my ankle both ways, broke my ankle. I heard it all the way in my helmet too, and uh, that put me out for the year, for the rest of the year. Second season, I had that fear. I had that fear of running. Everything was healed up. I had a plate in my leg at the time. Everything was healed up, but I had that fear of hitting the holes, trying to run over because I was more of a power back,
Mm.
and I had that fear of making that contact because of my injury. So I understand how that can play.
Yeah, because when I was boxing, my shoulder came out 3 times in a state champion. I mean, a state title fight, and I was fighting. He was the cruiserweight champ. His name is Amamo Mayfield,
Mm.
and I fought him, and I went to full. Well, we went three three rounds, but my shoulder popped out the socket like 3 times. and I was
Ah,
like, wow. So I had surgery, and I was sparring, and I'm sparring guys like Shannon Briggs, and sparring people with power, and all I'm doing is jabbing, jabbing, and everybody get mad at me like, why you don't throw your right hand? Because I still had that fear of throwing my right hand because of the shoulder.
yeah, yeah. See, it plays with you, man. It plays with you.
Yeah,
The last thing I want to touch on, we went really long on talking about everything, but the last thing I want to touch on is not boxing, it's UFC. We have Israel Adesanya versus Robert Whitaker for the middleweight title in the UFC, 185 pounds. And uh, yo, Israel, the last Airbender, put those hands. Yo, he is a striker. I would love to see him box.
I
He
see.
used to do
See,
kickboxing.
yeah, I'm not really a UFC fan, but I like seeing highlights, and I'm like, wow,
Did you see the Alessandia Whitaker highlights?
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
The
man. Yo,
movement.
those
I
those
was like, yo, I thought
yo,
he was hurt.
he's a striker, yo. He's a great technician, man. Very cuz I like combat sports regardless of what it is.
Yeah,
Uh but he's very meticulous, man. He's very calculated with his strikes. He just don't throw punches to throw punches. He's not a bar fighter. Um like he's very calculated, man. And yo, the first round he dropped him with a check hook. And then the punch that caught him and put him out was another hook, like another check hook when he was leaning back and he got caught with one and then he threw two back, threw two hooks and dropped him, man. Put him on this queer street, man. Just put him through the ringers, man. It was a nice fight. I watched that after all the boxing, after the Triple G fight. But let's get into a little bit of what do you want to get into, man? I don't have the list up. There was
meaning I don't. Let's talk about. I know we could talk about
what's
the
up?
when I was discussing the cards. I want to talk about that again.
Okay, all right, yo. Speaking of cards, I actually just bought me some cards, a box of cards that I'm gonna be there. I'm waiting on them to ship in, but um, there was a comment, a reply to your post on Twitter, and it was oh man, let me see if I can find that here.
It's some type of woman's platform for boxing,
Yeah,
and I've been trying to reach out to them because
I'm trying to, because it
they
was a follow up. Man, where was that? Let me see. But go ahead. I'm gonna try to find it.
yeah, because it was a I was trying to explain because I be trying to contact all these women groups that like really sponsor boxing and everything, far as for the women, because I'm trying to get it all under one umbrella to invest in like boxing in some type of form of fashion, because it benefits boxing and the fans get to know these boxers.
I found it here. Women's boxing owned by the female athletes. It's at Woman of Boxing on Twitter. Uh, and what they said was what they were replying to. They were replying to your. Oh man, I can't pull yours up. But I think when um, you pushed out to Tops and who are the four others? Tops, Absolute, Upper Deck, Panini America, and Cecilia Bruckus. Those are the people that were uh, added on your post about the boxing cards. It says we contemplated the trading card idea couple with a couple of vendors. The problem is the problem is the decline in trading card industry, and trying to forecast the REO, which is return on investment. Um, what did you think about that reply, man?
I think it's incorrect. They didn't do their research
Why is it
because
incorrect? And I agree with you. I agree with
because
you.
this why I know that trading cards right now because 2K and all these other companies they doing digital cards which fans are amped up about. So physical cards would definitely be a thing. Fans definitely be informed.
See, I agree. I 100% agree with it. Um, I think. Oh man, I lost that. What do you call it? Uh, I I think that the their response, I think it's wrong. And the only reason why I think it's wrong is because if you look at the markets of the cards now, the market in the 80s, all the 80s, early 90s, the market that market really bad because they made so much. They made way too much,
Mm.
and they learned from their mistake. And if you look at the market currently, you have cards that are going that are reselling for $300 plus, 400 $400, five. I seen a card for 5,000. I seen a box for 20,000.
Wow.
I seen a full set of this one card for like 27 something that's being sold. And yeah, somebody say, "Oh, that's just they're just trying to sell it at that point." I looked at sold items and I've seen cards go for 300, 450, 800, 1500 that have been sold that are current cards. So so you're right. They are misinformed, I believe. And um I think if they piggybacked on, let's say, a game
Yeah, exactly.
or action figures or all three, action figures,
Yeah.
games, and end cards, I think that will bring everything together because you have to think about things. And this is where I got this verbiage from is Gary Vanderchek. If you're not familiar with them, I sent you a couple videos of him. He is an immigrant. He came from Russia. He's been here since he was a kid. Uh, he's ran his parents' business. His parents had a grocery store, and then they turned it into a wine store. And they humble beginnings. They were, you know, they weren't rich or anything. They worked themselves up to where they were. They made their money, honest work. And Gary Vaynerchuk has a media company now, um, where he does media advertising, and he does ads. He does all kinds of stuff, social media stuff, ads, pushes all this stuff for major companies. He's done some major companies, Google, Yahoo. Uh, some people can argue about Yahoo, but he's done some stuff with Apple, NBC. He's done some big campaigns, right? What he said was, uh, and I agree. And this is he said, you have late 30s and mid 40s, 49-year-olds, up to 49-year-olds, and probably a little bit older, that are having kids now that used to collect cards when they were young, and now they have 7, 8, 9, 10-year-olds. Don't you think that father is going to go, hey, little Jimmy, or whatever their son's name is, James, Jermaine, yo, let's get these cards. Look at these cards, man. They're gonna show their kid this pastime that they loved. Did I lose you, man?
No, I'm in.
Okay. And those kids are gonna start picking this stuff up. That's one thing. What do you think about that?
I agree because I always show my son because I like collecting things. I show him stuff that I got, and he's like, "Wow," and it made him like want to collect like comic books and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Where?
Especially because cards they give you a background on the person on the card,
Mm-hmm.
and kids and people like stuff like that.
And just for instance, just to so people can look it up. One of the cards off the top of my head that's selling for 300 plus. You can probably get it as low as 150. Um, but they're reselling and they're selling for 350, 300, up to 800 to $900. It's the Giannis Antetokounmpo rookie card from the 2013-2014 season. Panini card 290, card number 290. Um, if you guys look that up on eBay, that's the card that's possibly going to sell for 1,000 plus in the next 3 to 5 years, because Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be. I mean, he's already a star. If you follow basketball, he's already a star, man. And you have Zion Williams coming in,
No,
who's just they're saying who's a freak. If he comes as hot as he is hyped up to be, and I'm saying the boy can play, but if it translates into the NBA, because some people don't, but if he as is as big as Giannis, the Greek freak, then that will be another rookie card that will blow up. And I I agree. NBA, Madden, FIFA, they have these digital cards. But just to think, what if they package that up with a like say you get a Madden, right?
mm,
You buy the special edition of Madden, and with that special edition you get um, a Barry Sanders card, a Bo Jackson card, uh, a Michael Vick, Steve Young, Joe Montana, digital cards. But you also get a physical card in a pack if you're buying the physical uh, uh, collector's edition. That will get people back in, like, man, I remember I used to cards, but some of these, a small company, I feel, can do that and kind of force the big company's hand to start getting into these partnerships too.
yeah.
And
But like Bandai or a company like that,
yeah,
they could
Bandai
do
Namco.
the toys. Yeah, they could do because I know Bandai did cards too. They do cards and toys,
Hmm.
so they could do the
Uh,
cards and
they
statue.
they did. If I'm not mistaken, they did the game and the cartoon Digimon, and they also did cards for Digimon, which it was a. Some people say it's a knockoff Pokemon, but Digimon was actually before Pokemon, I believe.
Yeah, it was.
I think so. And they basically had the same concept as Pokemon, and Pokemon's cards are still big. Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if they're still a big thing, but they have the Yu-Gi-Oh games, they have the Yu-Gi-Oh action figures, Pokemon action figures, uh, the game. So it's like I think the return of investment is there.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's there, man. Especially like right now, um, there's an artist. He does all the boxers paintings. He's based out in Vegas. He's done all the major fights and all the major fighters. Um, you've probably seen a lot of these paintings, like all the big like Pacquiao, Hatton, Pacquiao,
Yeah,
De
I
La
got him as a
Hoya.
friend on social media. I
His
got him
name
on my
his name is T Stone or Solomon. Solomon, I think his name is. I would have to pull him up. I actually have a painting I'm looking at right now, um, on my wall of Roy Jones versus Joe Calzaghe. I bought it.
Oh yeah.
I bought it. I bought it from him from his art gallery. Um,
Wow.
and it's numbered, authenticity, everything, right? And even though I hate this that fight because I feel a certain way,
Yeah.
I'm a big Roy Jones fan. I feel a certain way, but I have this and I can resell it for more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
definitely.
and he's not only boxing, but he's done like UFC and fighters in general. Um, but but yeah, these things are they're all promotion for fighters, man.
Yeah, it is.
And it moves the boxing world. It moves the boxing world into a different area, and it also gives these boxers another platform of of doing trade shows when
Yeah.
when their career's over or during their career. During their off time, they can do some trade shows here and there to help get them some more money or better notoriety. You know what I'm saying? They can do the cons, the comic cons and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
And do signings. People can bring these cards, and especially if they have like, see, you know what they need to do? They need to have fight weeks where, because UFC does it. They do it every July, I think, somewhere over the summer, and they have this big international fight week, right?
Mm.
And they have all these like fighters from the UFC do these demonstrations and stuff, and fans are there. Fans get to see them. They get to interact with the fighters, and they get to be like almost face to face with the fighters in the little demonstrations, the classes and stuff like that. Boxing needs to do that.
They got a thing called Boxing Expo. Look that up on Twitter. Um, they get a couple of boxers to come to the expo. It's like a fair type of situation. Cause I tried to get them to be a part of the whole boxing video game thing. Say, why don't you speak up on? Cause that'll help you get more people,
Is it just
knowing
Boxing
about it.
Expo?
Yes.
Okay, I'm getting some other things. I'm getting some other things here. I'm getting
Then put the boxing expo. I know it's a boxing expo. I haven't seen him post anything in a while, and I haven't went on his page, but because he had what's come there last year, Badu.
because I see there is a Boxing Expo 99. Oh, I think this might be it right here.
Yeah, Badu Jack there.
Box Fan Expo.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. That.
Okay. Yeah, so everybody that's listening, if you want to take a look at that, it's at Box Fan Expo on Twitter. And it's looking like they had one Cinco de Mayo weekend in Vegas. So yeah, yeah. Uh, I didn't know about this.
Yeah, because they could be bigger than what they is. A lot of people don't know about it. It's mostly like the boxers they reach out to, or if you like a hardcore boxing fan that like really searching for stuff like that, you'll find it.
Hmm. Yeah, I think these are a good thing, man. I think they're a good thing, especially especially. I mean, boxers. I can't think of a mindset now of how kids are now, but when I was growing up, I kind of looked up to boxers.
Mm,
I know you did too as you were growing up because
yeah,
you fell into it. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
but like kids kind of idolize boxers, so to speak. Even though people can have their misconceptions about or their feelings about idolization, but they look up to these guys. They want to be them. They want to do that. I mean, they do it with that football players, basketball players, boxers, every kind of sport. And I still think it's the same nowadays.
yeah,
I would have to be more in the world to actually see. Like I'm talking about like going to tournaments and stuff and actually seeing the environment. Um, but I still think it's the same. I still think you got kids coming up in tournaments and stuff.
yeah.
That
The amateur circuit is
yeah,
very large, and that's another thing. Nobody's really like talking about the amateur circuit because I always go on the site and see is it dropping? No, it's still strong.
yeah. I mean, you still got the Golden Gloves, the silvers, and you know
Yeah,
the Sugar Burt tournaments, the youth tournament stuff. Uh, so definitely, I think that when it comes to boxing games in general, I think they're career modes wise. I think it should start in amateurs, man.
yeah,
I
definitely.
think your legacy mode, career mode, whatever you want to call it, that mode should be should start uh from a career from amateurs. Or you can have a choose you can choose the path. Either you want to start in amateurs or uh
Straight to pros.
straight to pro, but it determines on your like it can have a negative effect and it could have a
Yeah.
positive effect. Like it would be a good dynamic.
Oh, this something I always wanted to talk about. Like when they have like in the career mode,
Mhm.
Tyson was naturally strong.
Mhm.
So him being in the career mode, do you think it should be a tax on the person's strength and they build it up at the wall, or if they naturally strong, they should be naturally strong?
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one, man. Because okay, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, okay, if you get depends on what route you go. Like we were saying, if you go straight to pros or if you
Yeah,
do the amateurs, right? So if you're a naturally strong person, like let's take a Deontay Wilder because he's naturally strong. He has a freakish
yeah.
power, right? But in the amateurs, the boy got rocked. There was one fight he fought against this Russian
Oh
that
yeah,
he
yeah. I
got
saw that.
he got phew, stanky leg boy. He
Oh
he
yeah.
did the
You see?
chicken
Did you
dance.
see AJ? You see the one where AJ got rocked? I'm
Nah,
like,
nah, I
wow.
didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that
Wow.
one up. But I think that might be a good dynamic. I think you should probably have um what would that be called? Like not
Cause they
profiles,
give
but
yeah.
like
attributes.
Kind of like an attribute, like flashy or like you should have a that
No,
kind of.
what is it's something else you call it? The ratings, I forget right off the top of that. But because you gotta look at this, Tyson has speed and power.
Like you can even call it a like an X factor, but they do that on Madden, so you can call it like the factor or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like you can have that
Yeah,
named in a boxing game and it'd be like the it factor or something like that. To where you can pick like good defense or and you can't pick all of them. Like you can only
yeah,
pick like one.
or two. Because you gotta look at. Suppose you want to do a career with Tyson and try to have him as close as possible. Then you can't just take his speed away from because he went slow.
Right, but if you're picking a named fighter. Now
Yeah.
you're talking about if they didn't have named fighters,
All
right?
right. If you all right, just doing a straight career with
But
things that you probably made.
if they have named fighters, like if they have like big name fighters in the game, and
Mm,
you can either pick that fighter and they'll have the attributes as they were when they were up and coming. But then again,
mm-hmm.
you would need somebody to know their stuff. Uh, but like you can't pick your it factors because we already know what their factors are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless you want to change them. If you want to change them, you can get like there's a certain amount of slots you can probably put in of those factors. But those factors also have negative attributes. Like the power. The powers would be the positive, the negative would be fatigue. Can't go the distance. Because
Yeah. Definitely.
most power fighters can't go the distance, right?
Yeah.
Uh if you pick the it factor of speed, you're not as you'll be capped on your power. You see what I'm saying? Like something like
Mm,
that, like like you get speed and your athleticism, but that fades away with age. That'll be the negative in your career mode. I think that's a pretty
yeah.
good
It
idea.
makes.
What you think about that?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Like if you have like you were saying, you have these it factors, right? You have these attributes or whatever you I don't know what you would want to call them.
And I got it written down, and
Yeah,
I
I
just
think
can't
we talked
remember.
about it too.
Yes.
Um, but you have these in a career mode, and it's not based off of your stats like your right hook power, your left hook power, your head movement, your this, your that, your that. It's separate.
Yeah.
So it's
Separate.
like an archetype. There you go. It's like an archetype. Like 2K has archetypes in it. Some people hate it, some people like it. I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I think it would be cool in a boxing game if you have like positive and negatives on it. It just can't be all positive because that will I think it will kind of kill the game, the longevity of it in the career mode, because you're going to get to a certain point and you're just going to go, man, I'm bored with this. I think, but I like that idea to where it has archetypes.
Yeah. I like it. Definitely
I
like
really
that.
do like that, man. Hopefully somebody does it in a game. Hopefully, uh, whoever on whatever team is listening, hopefully you guys put that in one of your games because that would be really nice to see. That would be really awesome. Um, let's talk about a couple more things and then we'll call it. Uh, anything else? What else you want to? Some like because this is a different show. We're just kind of doing our like actual wish list, how we feel, not off the list itself.
Yeah. How about with players creating stuff and they I don't know if you would say sell it because it's some game that players make things for the game and then they put it in a like a market
That's cool. That's cool. A lot of games do
and
it. A lot of games do it.
yeah,
Um, but they usually do them for free because
yeah,
because like Fallout. Fallout has that. Fallout
yeah, that's
4.
exactly what I'm getting at. It's
Yeah,
Fallout
Fallout.
4.
And then they stopped people from doing it, and then they started charging for these things. The company itself, not
Yeah,
the people. They stopped. Excuse me. They stopped people from doing it, and now they're selling stuff like that.
yeah, they actually hired some of the people
Hmm.
that make stuff and they get a percentage off of. But I feel some type of way. I'm getting a percentage off of me making something.
Yeah.
But
Well, I
their
mean,
thing is you still using our
yeah,
system.
yeah. So I agree with. I think it should be a more of a bigger cut leaning towards the person that's creating it.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think that's cool because you got people that are so in depth with the creator, like
and that's a
they're
fan base
real
by
yeah
itself.
they're really good with the creator, and they make all kinds of boxes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And yeah, I think they can do that. Celebrities, boxers, whatever, and I think
yeah.
they can sell it now. If you're doing celebrities, that might do some legal troubles with likeness and stuff, but
I see with that. See, the company can't be involved with it. Now, a player they could do what they want because they're not. You know, yeah, the player might get sued because they're monitorizing.
hmm
But if they just doing it for free, no, they could do it.
yeah, if they're just doing it for free, then yeah. But if they're monetizing it, then that wouldn't be a good thing.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I kind of like that idea. I mean, it's they had it in a couple of the fight nights where you can download.
Yeah, especially if you have the PC version of either one of these games,
Hmm.
because I know how that's gonna go. People gonna be like really going in on see could they create their own stuff.
Yeah. Um,
That's what you about to say.
I would love to see like a my GM my promoter mode. That's something I would really love.
Yeah, that's some type of
Online or
stuff.
off. I would love
Yeah,
to see that. Like a super like almost kind of in depth with it, like to where it could be, you can be an Eddie Hearn or Al Heyman or De La Hoya or whatever in the promotion world. Like I think that would be really fun.
yeah, that's something that fans been asking for years. They never got it. So if a company do that, they're like fans be like, wow,
Yeah,
somebody listen.
but the game has to be good though,
Oh, definitely.
because uh, yeah, you can have all that customization, but if the game's not good, it's it's like if the game is unplayable, it's just not worth it. Like you watch that Maximum Football?
Yeah, I watched some of it. I was like,
Like all the
yeah,
simulation stuff, customization, all that stuff is there, but uh, but the actual gameplay is not there. BK, what's up, man? Uh,
yeah. They were saying
a
that the
good fight creator is a must. for all the games. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be good, man. It has to be good, and
and
it has to be
had to be in
like
depth.
10 times better than anything Fight Night did. It has to like you said, super in depth, super in depth. But are the teams up for it though? That's both teams.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
That's the
Cause
thing. It's like, do they have not so much the manpower, but the talent that's like their actual not like the abilities to do that. That's my thing. BK says promoters that help are stable, a bit like gyms. Yeah, yeah, like see they kind of dropped the ball on that though. They kind of like how Fight Night Champion they had the gyms and stuff. It wasn't. It was there, but it wasn't there. Like it felt like it was tacked on.
it was. I could co-sign that. It definitely was.
It didn't feel like it was like a focus of the game from its conception. It was just like a thing that was there. Um, they did that with UFC also when they first put out the UFC. The first was it the first one? Yeah, the first one.
Yeah.
Um, where they had to where you can go to different gyms and have different perks, but it was like it just wasn't fleshed out enough. I don't feel it was very limited, very limited.
Because we was throwing them the wishlist guys, the wishlist mafia, and we was throwing them all types of ideas to flesh it out. But they, like I keep saying, they was hoping for more games.
Okay, yeah, but and what happened with that
So
exactly?
UFC took the win out of that. The thing with
uh,
EA, they wanted the UFC game to be just as successful as the Fight Night series, but
well,
it never could compete.
what the UFC?
Yeah, the UFC game didn't pull the same numbers as the Fight Night.
It did. It did. It didn't sell physical copies, but see, a lot of things that that you're not looking at is EA has EA Access, which is a subscription based. So that's not included in the sales numbers for the actual copies of the game. But a lot of people are playing Fight Pass because they're also getting or the EA Access because they're also getting Madden too and FIFA, and most of those fans interchange with each other. The FIFA guys are going to be playing the UFC, and they not so much Madden, but some of them do. Uh, BK says 10 years, 10 years nearly. Sure, the tech will bring what we want. Okay, but if you don't have the people that know the tech, that know the engines, that know everything, then what good is the tech actually for? What how good is it gonna it's only gonna bring you so far. If you don't know what you're doing in that engine, then you're not gonna have the proper the full experience of what that engine can do.
Yeah, that's true. Cause I even with the fight night round four, I seen things when I went to EA on a community event, and I was like, wow, but it never translated to the game. They never put it in there. So it's the people that's making the game. how it comes out.
Yeah, but
Because a
see
lot
that
of things.
that's a
What
problem.
you
I'm
saying?
responding to BK. He says game have more range, adaptability, such as downloads. Um, the PS3 costs far more to repair update. Yeah, but see, here's the thing: small indie teams have a small window to to win customers over, and if they put out a product that needs another 2 years to actual develop better to where it's actually playable and it's actually a solid working game, they don't have that. They don't have that time frame. Plus, they don't have the money for it either. And that's the PlayStation 3 was was kind of the death, and that I'm talking about that generation, not just the PlayStation 3, but that generation of consoles was the death of quality products for the most part because people would buy them, and when they bought them, the game was broken, and then they needed patches and they needed repairs and stuff, and they put them out over the internet, and then they fix them over time. But that creates the market that we're living in now in the game industry, where they're putting out what they call MVPs, minimal viable products, and they hope that it can get to a certain area, to the game that they promised. Like you take a game like Anthem, that game looked great, but it was empty. It had nothing there. It was broken. Um, oh, there was so many problems with it, and yeah, it sold millions. But how many people are playing it now? Less than 100. I think less than 600 people are playing it now. Or streaming it, I should say, because there's no content for it. And that's why and BK, that's why personally, I'm glad that you're here. That's why me personally, I'm not speaking for Poetic or anybody else, but me personally, that's why I give when I seen the trailer for Hard Knock, that's why I give them so much pushback because that small window is very small when they put out that product. And what like my question is what I have for them is we were supposed to get a demo last December, and you would agree with that, and that demo never happened. If you go back to some of his videos, meaning Showbiz, go back to some of his videos, he said something um, about something about cover athletes. That's why they were having a problem with. That's why they didn't want it. That's why they had to push things back. They were talking about cover athletes, and that was what he said in a video. But what were you doing from December to now? If you were going to give us a demo then, why aren't we having it now? And then we see what we see now. It's like what have you been working on? That's my questions about things. And I'll have the same questions with when I start seeing more from round for round because yo, in my book, they're on that same level. And I'm not, and I don't mean to put Poe or anybody, you and Poe, I don't mean to put you on the spot or anything because you have a
Mm.
relationship with them, but uh, like, yo, tick tick tick, your time that their time is ticking, man. People are expecting these things, and it's not the fans that are how could I say it? it's not our fault that we're expecting certain things. Where me personally, I'm going by what people have said from their mouths. I'm trying to hold them to their word. And if I can't do that, if they miss dates, if they say that they're going to do something and it never happens, I'm gonna start looking at them in a certain way. I'm gonna start saying, "Yo, I can't trust you. I can't trust what you say. All that hype and stuff that you're doing, I can't get behind it." That's my thing. And I'm glad you're here, BK, because text, you can only say so much in text. We can only say and uh, when you're typing, it comes off a certain way. It comes off the way that that person's reading it, and that can get misconstrued, and usually it does. BK says we can only hope and pray. Yeah, but things ain't looking too good, and that's on both sides. With and I'm talking about both games that are being developed that we know of. Things to me, from what I'm seeing and or the lack thereof that what I'm seeing, it's not looking good on both sides. And people might say, "Oh, you're a hater or this or that." Yo, I'm just being honest. Like I'm not I'm not I'm not putting my expectations on anything. I'm going by what people are saying. I'm going by what the people that are associated with the game are saying and they have said publicly. I listen to what they say and then I expect that. And if that's and when they don't deliver on that and I point it out, if that's hating, yo, I'm the biggest hater in the world then. Like, but I hope that they can be people of their word, and so far that they're not. I kind of went on a little tirade, but I'm off my soapbox. But Poe, anything else you want to add in there?
No,
It can be about even what I just said or whatever.
no. So the Wednesday show is not. We don't know if that's still gonna be a go with the special guest we supposed to have.
Oh, um, man, I just been having so much. I'll lock it down. I'll try to lock it down this Wednesday. I think that's what he was talking about. Um, and that's for everybody that's out there that is say his name. I'll murder his name.
Jim Trenzo.
Jim Trenzo, which is he is a he made the board game uh, tied about boxing. He also has a tech simulator for the computer, right? Or
Yeah,
is it it's also on phones, right?
yeah.
So
And while he's talked about so much, most of the guys on the fight night forums and many different forums, they always talked about he should be a part of any boxing game being made because he could put them little things in it to make it have that more similaristic feel to it. And he actually went to EA. That's a story
yeah, yeah,
we can
yeah.
talk
I
about
seen that.
Wednesday.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah, he
talk about
went.
that. Hopefully we
Yeah,
get him on the show next Wednesday. I've reached out to him. I'll send him another email today after the show. Um, and Wednesday that might happen. Follow me on Instagram, and I'll post it there if that's gonna happen on the Wednesday show. But BK says true again. No, you didn't. I didn't take no offense by anything that you said. Um, but people took offense to what I've said uh, on my comments that I posted. And dude, it might come out as harsh. It might come out as as being like direct and it might, like I said, it might look, might sound harsh, but I'm only going by what they said. I'm only going by the things that they said when just for instance when they were at that Evo convention in Vegas. He said moving forward we'll get information every week. When he said that, that happened August 3rd. I have a killer memory. That happened August 3rd, and we didn't hear nothing again until August 11th or 12th, which is damn near almost 2 weeks going by. And then now there's another lapse, and it's not meeting up to what they've said. So it's they say it's for the people, for the fans, but when questions are asked, when questions are posed, oh, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve an answer. Like, damn, am I not a potential paying customer? Poe, wouldn't I be a potential customer?
Yo, definitely.
I mean, you're asking me to spend my money. You're asking others to spend their money on a product. I mean,
Shoot.
you don't have to make everybody happy, but like if you're doing these things, if you're missing dates, if you're breaking your promises you set, nobody else is set. Nobody else set these parameters on these guys. Nobody has. It's things that they said. They set the expectation. And when they fail to do so and then somebody calls them out on it, oh, you're toxic, you're a hater, you're this. I'm like, yo, what the hell? Am I living in the upside down world? Like it baffles me. It truly baffles me, man.
Yeah, it's crazy because I was shoot. I was one of the EAC moderators, and I was so passionate about them not doing certain things that they let me go. They say, "Poe, you got to do this, you got to do that." And I said, "I cannot lie to fans because I'm one of them fans that I know what I want in the game. I want the game to be like realistic. And you keep saying it's a realistic game. It's not realistic
Yeah, see
by far."
that's another problem. BK with the crying emoji. What what is making you cry? Strange things. Yeah, strange things. Upside down world. Uh, like yeah, I'm just like, like truth be told, BK. Like if if somebody says something and they're putting out a product and they say like for instance every week you're going to get information about from now until it till it releases and you don't get that, how would you feel as a potential consumer of said product? That's the way I'm looking at things. And me personally, I'm not just some person. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like I have experience in the gaming industry. I I've done video game testing. I've done the QA process for some major titles. Just recently, now my NDA is everything is up since the game is out. But just recently, I did testing for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, and I had to sign an NDA for that. I've worked a lot with Ubisoft. I've done some stuff with EA on not the fighting games, but on the uh, the battlefields. So it's not like and hell, I got brought out to E3 because of the work that I did, and I have pictures to show that I was at the event. You know, it was like I been to the PlayStation events. Um, I actually have a friend that's in the legal department. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm not gonna put him out there like that. But I have a friend that works for Sony North America, um, and every time they have an event, he hits me up. Hey, are you gonna be there? You, if so, you're gonna come to this party or that party, this thing, this thing, and sends me emails. Reaches out to me all the time. Every time they have when they have their PlayStation experience. You know that like a lot of these things, and then on the other end, what I asked with the guys at Hard Knock Nights um, was was the was the are they even they're talking about being on console and stuff, but okay, who's are they publishing the game? Have they if they're publishing the game, have they even filled out the paperwork to be authorized publishers slash developers with PlayStation, Xbox? Because that takes some time. I know that because once again, I have uh, Xbox is a little. I don't know so much about Xbox so much because I don't know people there, but I know somebody at PlayStation, and uh, that process takes a bit, and then the certification process also takes a bit too, and especially if they're a small team, like there's going to be a lot of like they're going to look at their what do you call a lot more because it's their
Make
first
sure it
title.
don't break.
Yeah, let's make sure it's not going to brick any consoles. Like there's a lot of things, and like 3 months, I just don't see it. I personally don't see it happening in 3 months unless they get a publisher that's already approved with the consoles. PC it don't matter. You can push it out. But those are my questions, and I got hate for them. You can't. You would hope. I wouldn't say be sure. He said BK says, I'm sure they know um, what they're doing and all the legal aspects. Um, yo, you can't. I personally can't say that. The reason why I can't say that, okay, yes, they have a corporate company filed with Canada. That I give them that. But the game is not trademarked. Sony wants the game to be trademarked. Xbox would want the game to be trademarked because they wouldn't want to have any legal problems fall back on uh, on them because they're putting it on their consoles, on their platforms, and the game's not trademarked. And that goes with both games. I looked it up. There's no round for round trademarks. There's no Hard Knock Nights trademarks, and it has to be trademarked in every area that they're selling it in every market that they plan to reach. Just because they if they have it trademarked in one area doesn't mean that it's going to cover every area, all the whole world. They have to trademark it in every spot, or they will fall into legal things if somebody else has that name. And this is coming. I don't know these things because I have some knowledge of the industry. I know these things because of my background at I was a business banker at JP Morgan Chase, which is a major bank here in the U.S. I think you're in the UK, BK. If I know that, if I remember correctly, I think you're in the UK. But I was a business banker for a large corporation bank in the U.S. One of the biggest banks in the U.S. And I that's how I know these things, those things. So I have the financial background and the gaming industry background. I agree. BK says Poe. He says we all just want a good quality game and hope
Yeah.
both get behind and he says and I hope you both get behind both round for round and Hard Knock Nights. I can't get behind any of them right now.
Me, I can't get behind. I want both of the games to do well because competition makes good games. But Showbiz like kind of pushed me away. Man, Showbiz used to talk all the time behind the scenes, but once he like got deeper and deeper into development, he started pushing me away, and I'm like, yo, I'm just talking boxing. We could talk. We ain't talking business. We talking boxing. So he like pushed me away. So
And that's because you
that's
have your relationships with round for round though. That's what he was saying, right?
yeah, but it shouldn't matter if we just talking regular boxing.
I
It's
mean, at
not like
at at
I'm
the
not
end of
telling them trade secrets.
at the end of the day, like I agree with like we all want a good quality boxing game that we can get behind. But from what I've seen with just Hard Knock Nights, I can't get behind that because I mean they're using they said they said oh those are placeholders, but they they plan to have motion capture. Like why did you even have to put that out? Like you should have already there's so many people already hating on it. A ton of people hating on it. A lot of people like yo, this isn't it. This is horrible. This is trash. They're so stiff. They're so this. They're that. There's a lot of
Yeah,
people
I wouldn't have put
hating on
that
it.
out.
There's a lot of people hating on it. Nobody was forcing them. Nobody was saying we need something now. And as creators, as because it is an art form. It is an art form. As artists, they should want to put out the best representation of their art. And that personally was not it and a lot of people feel the same way. When they're using animations from a website from Mixamo. And that animator, the only animator he uh said it was hand animated. But like what's that mean? Are you trying to do a play on words because if you use if you use if you're using this on certain things, why aren't you using all of it? Because you would do so, and then if you want to call it hand animated, you're just doing small tweaks. That makes it hand animated, quote unquote. Small tweaks in there, but it's still these clunky, horrible animations. BK says agree. Motion capture should have been implemented. Um, they shouldn't have put anything out. They shouldn't have put
Yeah,
nothing out because that's a
should have.
representation. Because you can't make a first impression twice, especially with the with
Yeah,
the with
that's
the
true.
indie team. They don't have the resources as Ubisoft would, and I say Ubisoft because they put out that game. I told you that this one before. They put out Rainbow Six Siege, and it didn't do so well at the beginning. But year two, they stuck with it. Year two, it was a very hyped game, and then now they have all this steam behind them, and people are like, yo, this is the best, and they have all the esports and stuff behind it too, the Rainbow Six Siege international tournaments and all this, but they have the finances to do so. This company, this small team does not. They don't have the ability to stick it out because it takes a couple bad reviews. People would they look at a trailer and they go, "Oh, what?" And then they're it's bad in their mind, and they don't even look back. That happens. It happens so much in business, man.
You know, and what they did by doing that, now they make round for round say, oh, we got to do better than them. We got to take our time and make sure we bring something out better than them. When Hard Knock Nights, that's their first instinct should have been like, we putting something out correct the first time.
And I just don't see that happening in in 3 months, in less than 3 months, in 2 months, because we're in October already. I just don't see uh, us getting anything different in 2 months, especially when you have one animator. Like how big is the team? Like there's only so much that us like 4 or 5 people can do. This isn't a team of 100. This isn't a team of 25 or 50. I'm just looking at it logical and with common sense, man. Like I can't get behind that. If it comes out, I see. This is the thing, and BK, you can go back and I mean tell somebody or share the video. Um, but I want it. I want that game to prove me wrong. I'm nobody, but I want to be proven wrong. I want to look. I want the game to be so good where I put out a video and I go, well, guys, I was wrong. This is amazing. Because I mean, it has nothing to do with for me. It ain't gonna do nothing for me. But what it's gonna do is it's gonna be a win for everybody that buys the game. But I just don't see in 2 months. I just don't see in 2 months that like he's talking about putting facial animations, uh, muscle movements, and flexing and this and this and this in 2 months. Yo, that's a lot of work. That's time work. Not only just time work, but you have to know your stuff. You have to be a seasoned vet in Unreal. You have to know the little tweaks and the little secrets of Unreal to do these things. And from what we've seen, it you don't it's not saying that they know it, especially when they're using these assets. Anybody can do a body scan. Body scans ain't nothing. Animations is what the game mechanics are based off of. The controls, how the people move. That's animations. That's the motion capture part of it. And and if you're using something from a site that's 10 years old, man, that doesn't speak highly of um your talent level. That's what I was trying to get at when I said things that I said. And you can't get that relayed so much on text as much. I really hope it does good, but I'm telling you, dude, like if I remember if did you play Destiny, Poe?
Yeah, I played a little bit of.
Okay, Destiny 1, right? I played the I watched when it got announced. and they said a lot of things. Oh, you can go if you see something, you can go this. It's going to be open world. It's going to be that, this, and this. I played the closed beta and I played the open beta, um, and I was loving it. I was hyped about it. I was like, yes, this okay. This is just a small slice. We're gonna get a lot more when the game comes out. When the game came out, it was the same exact thing that I played on the closed beta.
The
And that was the first time I said I looked at things. I was like, yo, when they put out a game, when they put out a demo, betas, whatever, that's the game you're gonna get. Nothing else changes from when you play that beta to when that game actually fully gets it released. Now you might get patches to fix little bugs here and there, but the game, that's what you're gonna get. And one thing, I said it on a previous show, I'll say it again. One thing that a lot of people don't look into, which I looked into, um, when it goes to words, what people say, the verbiage that they used for Hard Knock Nights, they said they're using the time-tested uh, genre or platform of fighting of traditional fighting games in a boxing game. That makes no sense. You can't have a traditional fighting game and be a boxing simulation at the same time.
two different things.
Two different things. And from what they showed, that's like it's a Rock'em Sock'em like Mortal Kombat boxing game from what they showed. And I'm just waiting. Like I'm waiting. I'm not like just excited about round for round personally. I was at one point until time has passed and my what do you call it has turned into my excitement has turned into like okay, when are we going to see it? Like it's turned to from excitement to I don't know what. I don't know what anymore now. Especially I went back and seen everything that they said like yo, they have a lot of broken promises too. For instance, 2018 we were supposed to get a trailer. Never happened. Still hasn't happened. So, you know, I'm not biased to one or the other. I'm real.
Oh, definitely.
I'm straight up. I'm gonna say it how I feel. So anybody who says, "Oh, you're this, you're biased, you're this, you're that," nah, I'm not biased to either one. I'm 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 like if you say it and you're a part of this team, whatever team that is, I'm gonna expect you. I'm gonna hold you to the words that you say. And the moment that you stop me being honest about those words, those promises, and everything, that's when it turns south. That's when you lose me as a customer. But time will tell, man. I mean, Hard Knock Nights got 60 days. Hold up, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. It says it's got 80 days. Hold up, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay, okay, yeah, the rest of this month. Yeah, the rest of this month. Okay, yeah. So that's that, man. I got a little my little soapbox. Um, I was gonna try to keep this show a little bit shorter, but we went a little bit longer. Uh,
Yeah.
BK, thanks for coming out, man. Wednesday we should be having a show. We might be having an interview on Wednesday. But say his name again, Jim
Jim Chisholm.
Trinzo. Um, and he has some background into uh, some type of game design. So, um, and he's had some other stories about with EA and stuff. So we should be doing that. Uh, Poe, you got anything else, man?
No, that's it. Thanks, BK, for coming out.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming out. Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern, and on
Wednesday.
Wednesdays, same time. We'll be having a show Wednesday. We should be having that interview. I'll just confirm. Um, Follow me on Instagram for that one. Links for the Instagram and all of our social medias will be in the description. Also, if you do not have Discord, download Discord. Put it on your phone. Um, it's if you're not aware of it, it's a chat. It's basically a chat forum. Has chat, video, and there is a boxing wish list Discord where you can throw your ideas up there, um, and um, people do look at that. There's a lot of people that like have been looking at the boxing wish list. Other than the companies that we know about, there's some other people that developers have been looking at things, and you might see some of these ideas. You might see a developer. There's some buzz going around that there's like two more developers uh, possibly working on something. I don't know who they are, but they're talking. There's somebody saying it. I've heard a
Yeah.
couple people say it.
Yeah, rumors. Next year,
Yeah,
we're going to be in surprise.
yeah. So I mean, it could be somebody big. I don't know. I personally don't know who it is. Um, I hope it's somebody big. I hope it's like proper 2K or I don't know. I don't know so much about. I don't know how I feel about Fight Night coming back though.
I still feel like they come back right now. It's gonna be half. They're gonna half butt it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be too hyped if they announced another fight night. I don't see it happening, but I wouldn't be too hyped about it. I would not be too hyped about it. Links for Discord, like I said, it's for you can if you have iOS, iPhones or Androids, you can get Discord on your phone. You can stay in touch with the boxing wish list. Um, and there's a lot of other companies that have Discords that you can be involved with and get information about their games coming up too. Um, a lot of people, a lot of game companies are doing Discords for their game. Uh, the Division has it. Um, Escape from Tarkov. There's a lot of PC games and console games that have Discord. So uh, download that. Follow us on all of our social medias. And until next time, which will be Wednesday, um, hope to see you guys there. Poe, anything else? Last words?
No, that's it. Peace.
Peace.